Hey guys, it's Oluchi for Ways Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on Ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
The cost of housing in Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos, has actually gone on high. Now, rent prices have continued to soar beyond reasonable doubt. From Lekki to Ikorodu, Yaba to Ajah, tenants are being asked to pay hundreds of thousands for spaces that often don't meet basic living standards. I tell you, this is no joke. Now, according to recent housing reports, Lagos ranks as one of the most expensive cities to live in Africa, yet over 70% of renters live in informal or substandard housing. And despite landlords charging upfront payment of 1 to 2 years' rent, even though the Lagos state government at some point has said, oh, we want to go to a monthly collection of rental, but there are other factors that also don't even make that look fantastic. Regardless, I mean, if you also want to look at that, there was also a sort of survey that went through, and a lot of people or Lagosians said, hey, we don't prefer that pattern of paying rent. Now, there's little regulation, no rent control, and almost zero tenant protection. When I mean zero tenant protection, it is what it is. So the big question is, are Lagosians truly getting the value for their money, or we're just normalizing exploitation in the name of urban living? I'm living in Lagos because now it's not a matter of the part of Lagos that you're living, whether you're on the island or on the mainland. The big question we're asking is the value. Is there really value for renting properties or buying properties in Lagos? That's the question that we're asking. It's another episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name is Messi Eboko, and today we're discussing the cost of rent, property, and the worth for these properties. Now, remember that Ways is all about you. You are the why in the Ways. It means that you can join the conversation daily and even now and add your voice. All you need to do is just head over to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV, hit the subscribe button, like, share, and invite your friends to join the show now. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this topic, especially if you live in Lagos, any part of Lagos entirely. Now, when the phone lines are also open. As always, please ponder on my quote for today. Many tenants, particularly those with modest income, find it difficult to pay rent annually. The Commissioner for Housing is quoted to say. Well, we will delve into this much later. But first off, I need to take a quick break. And when I return, I'll tell you what I found in the news. Please stay with me. You're watching Ways, hashtag what are you saying? It's a very beautiful Wednesday evening, and I hope you're having an amazing time. If you're tuned in and you're wondering what we're doing, well, at this point in time on Ways, a primetime show, we talk about what I found in the news. Now, this is what I found in the news today. INEC has moved to clarify Section 65 and drafts a supplementary guideline on election reviews and results. Oh, no. The Independent National Electoral Commission, I beg your pardon, INEC says, is working on additional rules to explain Section 65 of the Electoral Act of 2022. Now, because there's been confusion about how that part of the law should be used, especially when it comes to reviewing the elections and its results, that has been declared. So the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, said these new guidelines would actually help make things clearer, especially ahead of the upcoming by-elections, off-season, and governorship elections as well. So we're looking at the 2027 election. And don't forget that yesterday we were already saying, why are we focused? You can see that everybody's ready. All hands are on deck, including INEC. Everyone's ready, but it looks like we've forgotten about the actual issue. So there's a lot of campaigning that's going on. I mean, yesterday, I think I was trying to be very considerate of my words, saying that campaigns are subtle. But that's not the case. Campaigns are actually going on. Let's just stay with the crux of the matter. So Section 65 of the law allows INEC to look into any result within 7 days, yeah? If it finds that the returning officer or the person who announced the result was forced, threatened, or acted against the law. And this has become a serious issue because there's been several complaints. And just like I mentioned yesterday when I had a conversation with Marianne, I remember how a lot of people were excited about the review or the Electoral Act and all of the updates. It was more like we're just getting into a new haven. It's just going to be quite different for us. But the truth is, this is actually serious because the recent election that we had, which was in 2023, there were some returning officers that claimed they were under pressure or they were also threatened while declaring the results. And that's why, so if this was the issue, right, if the law has been stated, why did we not swing into action? Because it's like this has been, it's not a new thing. So I'm just wondering why there's need for clarification rather than implementation. From Kanu, to other parts of the states, unfortunately, I can't even begin to mention the names of the persons, the professors, returning officers that said they were declaring this result. They were under duress while declaring this result at this point in time. Some people said they were gone on their heads. They had machete. There were all sorts of reports. Did INEC conduct any investigation? Was there any investigation? And if the rule says within 7 days you need to check out all of this report, was this seen? We saw almost everything happening in real time because of the era that we're in. So there were a lot of smartphones out there, and people were recording in real time. Has nothing to do with AI. But then again, I'm just taken aback that INEC is here saying we want to have a review of a certain part of the law to help the people understand. Yesterday, we also spoke to the issue of having, having the campaigns going on, despite this is against the law that governs elections. Why are we having campaigns? Whether they are subtle, whether they are not. Where's INEC in all of this? But INEC is here saying they want to clarify a certain part of the Constitution or the Electoral Act or the rule and what have you, just to ensure that everybody has it all right, really. I'm short of words, but let's move to the next story. A former Senate President, Senator David Mark, you remember him, right, has formally resigned his membership of the People's Democratic Party, citing deepening internal divisions and unresolved leadership crisis. So that's a letter that he wrote. The letter is titled Notice of Resignation from the People's Democratic Party. And I'm going to read, part of that letter. But yesterday, if you were part of the show, because we also talked about all of the defections and resignation, which is also a subtle part of politicking, and the fact that governance has taken the backseat. And you might also say that David Mark is not the Speaker of the House of Assembly or, the National Assembly, whatever it is that you want to target. But then again, all of these moves is politicking at the end of the day. So the letter, I'm going to read part of it. It says, I bring warm greetings to you and members of the People's Democratic Party. That's the PDP. Otukpo. Ward 1. That's in Benue, if you don't already know, and that's where Two-Face is from. And by extension to the entire Benue state and Nigeria, I write to formally inform you of my decision to resign my membership of the party with immediate effect. He said his effort is to rebuild and reconcile and reposition the party, help restore it to a national relevance. But the recent event had weakened the People's Democratic Party beyond recognition. So a lot is actually happening. And he said that the reason he wants to do this is for the interest of the party. That's what he said. But is he really in the interest of the party? That's the question. Or is there any other agenda? Is it for the party? Because if you think that the party is not doing well, there's internal issues and, crisis and all of that, shouldn't it be great that you stay back as a family? Because that was actually, I'm going to continue to reference the conversation from yesterday, because there's a connection, there's a correlation. And we said, if it's a family setting, whenever you have an issue, do you just up immediately and pack your bags and baggages and walk away? You try to find a solution. But then again, it is what he said, his word against mine, so I'll move away from that. Another one that caught my attention, really, this one is quite interesting. Interesting as it should be. I'm sure you've seen this video, but there's something that also caught my attention, which is also a big issue for us as a nation. Now, an unidentified man, okay, so that's the video. So this man locked himself in the bank toilet. That's according to the report, to carry out a robbery. That robbery was not to take out money, but was to hack into the the computer systems or what have you. So yes, he locked himself at the toilet. This bank, I'd mention it, for the purpose of this story and this segment. The First City Monument Bank, to rob the financial institution. Now, you can actually see him being manhandled by police officers. He did whatever he did, and some people have alluded to the fact that he probably would have been seeing a lot of foreign movies about the heists, that's happening. And the report says that in the course of this, so he got to the bank like every other customer walking to a commercial bank, right? And maybe, I don't know how, but he got himself to the toilet. Only God knows what time that he got to the toilet. Stayed there, everybody closed, and then he got down, you know, to hack the computers and have access, you know, to the bank operating system and what have you. But unfortunately, he slept. Oh no. So he slept, and then that's how he got apprehended. It's not funny. That's really terrible. I know that we constantly say that times are hard. People are going through, you know, difficult situations and time, but, you know, going to rob and steal, is that really an option? There are other ways that you can try to survive, really. But now, as much as that's very condemnable, you need to see how the police officer is actually treating that guy. So you can see the video now. Now look at that. That is totally unacceptable. You see, we talk about jungle justice. There's a code of operation. The law states that you are innocent until being proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. And that's what the law states. So as a matter of fact, you've caught him red-handed, because some people will begin to argue that, oh, he's been caught in the act. What is he doing there? And what have you not doing there, right? So he's been caught with the act. Do we have a way to handle those who have been caught in the act, or those who are presumed to be criminals and all of that? That's a police officer. That's not even another individual. So you see that. That's inhuman. That's not fair. That's not how we behave. In a democracy, in a country where everyone is normal, we presume that we're okay and we're normal human beings, because it looks like we're still living in a stone age. That cannot happen. You can't take the laws into your hand. And you want to believe that the police officers should understand the law, should know better. But you seeing a police officer taking the laws into their hand is totally unacceptable. Yes, he's committed a crime, has been caught, you know, at the crime scene, but should he be handled in that way? No, it shouldn't. Because we are not in the stone age. We live in an era where there are laws and principles. And if we don't allow the law to continue, then it looks as though we're still in the stone age. We can't continue that way. Well, that's the much that I can take at this point in time. That's what I found in the news. We'll take a quick break. When I return, we'll just delve into the crux of our conversation. Please stay with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Maybe to stock the house in a month, maybe 100,000 will get rice, gari, beans, oil, little bit of fish, meat, and some. But now, even that 100,000 can hardly feed you in a week.
Ẹ wo yín sí gbogbo nǹkan tí wọn ò torí tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀dìyẹ tẹ̀ ń wo yẹn a máa wà ní 3,000 25 àdèmàtà ní 5,000 4,000 àmọ́ yín sí àti rẹ̀ ẹ̀dìyẹ ní 8,000 naira àdèmàtà 9,000 sí.
The current cost of food right now is too high. The economic percentage of this country is unbearable.
In a day, I used to dash like many people like, they will come and see, I'm hungry, please help me with crayfish. So I won't let them go, I will give them.
Okay, like example now, we buy beans, a pint. Beans, let me say even 2,000 naira. But today, I went to buy beans, and I found out that beans is 12,500 naira. I just paint.
I'm a tele. Taba ni 500 low. Taba ilosi lo oúnjẹ. Actually, I got 500. They am okay, but you see, about 1.5 gon lowo. Ni bó ṣe ń lọ yìí, 1.5 will anything go.
Before we say maybe 2.5, 1.5, 1.8 for one. 150, 1,500, 2.5 highest, set 2.5. But now imagine like this year now, I bought it 650,000.
We dey sell them before, pint of rice. We dey sell before 3,500, but now pint of rice now is 7,500, and now bag of rice now is 79,000 naira.
So they should do something about it, please. We are tired. We are getting tired. And as I talk, Baba, you see, if you see, I not like say no see am, because we don't tire hunger day.
Good job. Go wash it. Go help wa. Na help we need. So tí mo sọ yẹn, nǹkan tí mo need nìyẹn help. La need.
Àwọn náà rí àlè rábẹ́ everything máa da bọ́n ṣe máa ń sọ o. Àwọn ó máa da wọ́n ti bí mi. Lọ́ọ̀tì sọ pé everything will be okay. Everything will be this, that. But why you are buying more? Ibi tó bá ti wá sí là ń lọ.
Nǹkan tèmi lérò pé lè ṣe pé ó yẹ kó help wa náà gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n.
I think all of us what we are crying for to just at least even though if it is just food item or those things we do this because some of them look at me I wasn't like this before like 2 years ago let me say 1 year ago I wasn't like this but now look at me. I really need this way for Lagos.
Food is the essential. That is what is most important. If the price of food can at least go down a bit, it will be of help, you know. It has not been easy.
Well, it's not easy because even the job value, we don't even have to see job right now. It's not easy. So we cannot find at least to have an ends meet in a day. It's not easy.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
You're watching Ways hashtag, what are you saying? And tonight we're talking about something that's very, very important in the capital, commercial capital city of the country, that's Lagos. And if you don't live in Lagos, it's a different vibe and energy. I know a lot of people say they can never live in Lagos, but, well, that's a conversation for another day. Tonight, let's talk about buying properties. The dream of home ownership in Lagos is becoming a luxury, and few can afford it. Now, across the city, from Ibejuleki to Shongotedo, new estates are springing up and advertising as affordable luxury and selling for tens of millions of naira. You can never find those houses in tens of thousands, trust me. The reality is hard to ignore. No proper road network, no drainage systems, unstable electricity, and sometimes even no water. The supply is out of the way. Unfortunately, I mean, we're supposed to have Chukwuemeka Morgan, who is a partner of Pinnacle Prime Real Estate Limited. I'm hoping that he can, you know, be here for whatever reason. Lagos can be Lagos, traffic and what have you. But if he joins the conversation, that's fine. So I'm asking you now, are you getting the what for the property that you're renting? Now, that house that you're living in, is there a value for it? The millions that have charged you, are you actually paying? So the one bedroom, the self-con, like they will say, self-contained, even though it's a different lingua when you're in other parts of the country. But yeah, so we call it self-contained. All of that. Are you getting the value? Now, what about the property that you're also buying with your own money? It's your money, really. Are you also getting the value? These are some of the questions that we hope to actually achieve. Now, over time, from experience, because a little bit, I mean, we dabble here and there, and so we can actually be involved. So you find that the houses, because sometimes you could have a house for a certain amount of money for rental. I mean, it's renting for 500,000, but you might end up spending close to 2 million, if not 1.5 million. So your house, the house that you want to rent, the self-con is selling for 500,000, or is renting for 500,000. But at the end of the day, when they give you, there's something called the total package. It's going for 1-point-something million naira. Now, when you go to this particular property, in most cases, you find out that the space alone is nothing to write home about. The space alone is nothing to write home about. Then, you also find out that there are certain amenities and basic amenities that actually make life comfortable. It's also nothing to write home about. So you end up paying so much, from the agency fee to, you know, the issue for, they call it the agreement fee, the tenancy. I think we've had this conversation in previous time, and over time they've said that the people to blame are the agents, because the agents will always inflate the amount. The landlords do not understand what happens. I beg to differ, because I feel like it's a collaboration. Yes, if I own a property and you have an agent who's actually renting, if you don't have a connection, then why do you also have that? Once upon a time, Christian Amanpour was in Lagos, and I remember that there was a statement that was accredited to her. They said that, oh, Christian Amanpour left and said that Lekki in particular was an expensive slum. And I took it very personal when I heard that. You know, I felt like, how could she come say that about my own country? Whether or not I stay in Lagos or where I'm in Lagos. But the fact that you say that about where I'm from is a lot of, you know, it's a lot of stress. It feels like that's a blow on the face. But if you look at it, are we really paying the value for them? What about the water supply that we get? Is the water even okay? I know, is the water okay? So you find out that most of these properties are selling in millions, but then you have water that's colored. So you can't even use this water. The water is not even treated because, of course, the water is not even natural or good enough for you to consume. It comes in other parts of, you know, the states. You can actually have water that is clean. And I can mention one state, for instance, Cross River State. They have fantastic water. And then some people will say, okay, why don't you go there? That's a conversation for another day. But the truth is, if we constantly engage, whether you're renting, whether you're rendering a service, whatever it is that you're doing, and you know people are not getting value for it, are they really getting? How do you sleep? We have seen complaints, we have seen talks about how you get into, you know, property in this particular axis where we are, the Victoria Island, you know, the Lekki of this Lagos, and what have you. The water is nothing to write home about, but then people are paying so much, paying in millions, and then to rent maybe a 3-bed or a 2-bed, you're also paying in millions. When you also look at the road, the access road to some of these facilities, nothing to write home about. So why are we renting, why are we paying that kind of amount of money? And now for, you know, for the properties, because when you venture into, if this is a structure, of course, this is a structure that we're in. This house was not built today. Yes. This structure was not erected in 2025. It was not erected in 2024. So you want to factor in the cost of production. It's been there over time. So how come we just have these, you know, the prices just go up? There's just nothing to write home about. The roads are terrible. Sometimes there's no water supply. Other times you don't have drainage system. You don't even have proper infrastructure. There are just too many issues around it. And it's unfair. If you want to look at it, if you really, really want to look at it, you know, it could be tagged as fraud. Because we're always saying that those people who are stealing are those who are carrying the guns. You know, if you carry a gun and you go to someone's house and you tell them, hey, get down, lie down, that's when you're stealing. Or maybe if you know, take somebody's money. However, we just think that, but when you're rendering a service, when you're giving something and people are not getting value for it, you pay for service charge. What are the services? Are they being delivered? The services that you pay for, are you getting the value for those services? Are they rendering those services to you in real time? So this is actually a clarion call. It's a big question, and it's a call to you. Those who are involved in agents, being an agent, those properties, when you get to, do you have a conscience? Do you ask the landlord, Oga, should we be charging this amount? So once upon a time, I probably share an experience. I was looking for a property, and I went somewhere. When I got to this property, the guy was saying, oh, this house is good, just pay now, just collect them. If you don't collect this house now, so I'm going to speak their language. Collect this house now, no. You know how many people they wait to collect this house? Already he's made me pay like the agent fee, he would say. So nobody even cares whether you're going to get the house or not, whether you will like it or not. They just want you to pay them. I can understand that, yeah, you actually went out to, you know, source for this property or you show me this property, but you think back. If you actually got this property, if it was actually a property that's worth the while or is worth the money and is worth the hype, do you think that someone would actually come and reject it? No. So you give all the hype and then I pay the money, whatever it is that you ask me to pay, I pay the money. And then I go to it, I look at the decking. It already has this mucus. So if you know how it is, when water has actually absorbed, you look at a roof. I can't look up now because I'm about to look up, but I'm not going to do that. So you see that water has actually entered the decking. You know, it's absorbed. I could see the signs. It was looking very terrible. You could see the marks. And this guy was still convincing me, just pay. If you don't pay now. I'm like, what? Pay what? He said, you know how many people they wait for? Nobody's waiting for anything. Maybe they are, really. But, you know, I went away because, for me, the worry was that, what if you're even lying down and sleeping and then the decking just falls on you? It just comes down. Now, how many times have we not seen? How many times have we not seen deckings actually falling off on people, the roof going down, and a lot of things actually happening. How many times have we not seen that? It's unfair, really. And I know that we want to say, let's have some sort of regulation, let's have the government, but don't we have a conscience? You as a landlord, you as the agent, you as a facility manager, don't you have a mind? Are you not thinking? And then when we look at the current economy that we live in, you know, times are actually different. The cost of living has gone up because we're grappling with inflation. It is so much. Some people, the salaries they are earning, they probably have to save for the entire time. So it looks as though people are working and just to pay rent because there's nothing to write home about. Now, gone are the days where people say that the houses were quite pricey and expensive in certain areas. No, it cuts across board now. From every other part of the world, whatever it is that you think in Lagos, whether it's Ajangbadi, whether it's in, Pako, or it's in Cement, wherever it is you want to say, is it in Shongotedo, or where do you want to call? The properties are pretty expensive. And so the question we're asking is, you as the owner of a property, are you really giving people the what for their money? And again, there's also another technique or tactic that's going on, where property owners, when it gets to a certain time of the year, maybe mid-year, they begin to make the property and the place where the people are living very uncomfortable. So they make it very uncomfortable. They make you very uncomfortable. So things begin to happen. By their own action or maybe not deliberately, they just somehow, all of these things begin to happen. And when all of these things actually happen, then it's just supposed to get the people agitated and somebody just gets frustrated and say, you know what, I want to leave, I can't stay here anymore, and they go. But it has actually been identified as a strategy. It's identified as a means to get the people, because for every time you have a new tenant or you have somebody coming to buy this property, it means more money for you because they're going to start all over again, paying agency fee, paying whatever. At this point in time, you have also increased the rent. But we'll just go on a quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues right here. Please stay with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Still watching Ways, hashtag what are you saying? Unfortunately, we hope we're going to have, the authorities and the experts in the studio tonight, to talk about, to tell us, because they're actually the ones, the gatekeepers, if you want to say so. But that hasn't happened. But subsequently, we're just going to have a repeat of this conversation in no time, right? That's it. Unfortunately, we can no longer, continue the conversation. We'll just let it slide at this point in time. It's okay to engage with us further via social media, on air. Just go ahead, make sure that you follow us on all of our social media platforms and engage. Drop a comment, and most importantly, like I said again, follow us on all of our social media platforms, and remember to like, share, and comment, and invite your friends and family to watch the show. If you missed our quote for today, here's what it says. Many tenants, particularly those with modest income, find it difficult to pay rent annually. And that's what the Commissioner for Housing is quoted to say. All things being equal. I might return tomorrow, 8 p.m., but enjoy the rest of your evening. My name is Messi Popo. Have a good evening.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.